What's going on, guys? This is Trent, and today my girlfriend and I are going to be reacting to Crystal Lake and their song Watch Me Burn. I'm reshooting this intro because for some reason I may have accidentally deleted the other one, or I don't know. But the video is of us checking out Crystal Lake and their song Watch Me Burn. The biggest reason is we just did Dexcore, and in that new Dexcore song, it featured Ryo from Crystal Lake. So I really wanted to introduce her to Crystal Lake now. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to check out the video, and then we're going to break down the lyrics at the end. We're both going to kind of talk about what our lyrical interpretation of the music is. And again, this is subjective, so what we take from it may not be exactly what it means or what you think it means. So I'd love to discuss and hear what you think in the comments. Let us know. Thank you. All right, so we're going to jump into Crystal Lake and their song Watch Me Burn.
Waiting for the sunrise, shining in the shadow that I'll chase, standing at the front line. I'm my own worst enemy, and the war has just begun.
All right, we'll go ahead and stop it there real quick. So right away, what are your first initial thoughts of Crystal Lake?
I like it. It's very dancey. It made me want to dance. I think that your education of metal has definitely been really good because now I can hear the melodic aspects of it. Yeah.
You better.
What kind of... Is he screaming yet? No. Yes? Singing? Screaming? I don't know.
What?
I don't know. There's kind of like this skater boy singing type thing.
Skater boy singing. Skater boy.
But was he kind of screaming?
What are you talking about?
In the song.
Yeah, so far, like the intro, that style?
Yeah.
That's like a melodic scream.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if they were screaming it because there was so
much
melody to it that I was like...
refer to that as skater. What the hell does that even mean?
I mean...
What kind of losers did you date?
No.
That you call that skater boy singing?
Because, I mean, let's not get into
don't
that.
ever
but it's
refer to that.
melodic screaming,
thank you.
and I like it because I'm a singer, and so the more singing, the better for me.
Yeah. So, okay.
But it made me want to dance. It made me feel good.
All right, so just so everyone knows, her style of dancing is not two-step. It is not moshing. It is actual dancing, unfortunately.
What does that mean?
But so far, yeah, Crystal Lake is incredibly talented, instrumentally, vocally. Ryo's, his range is absolutely insane. You heard him on the other song, how low he went. Mm-hmm. That was him.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same guy.
Yeah, that's really good.
So vocally, his range is, to me, very dynamic. He's able to go from the clean melodic or scratchier style of melodic screaming to the melodic tone of singing there. And he's also able to do, if he needs to switch over and do a kind of a heavier vocal style with more of the low fry vocal, just a very heavy tone to it, and just if he needs to make it heavy, he can make it heavy. So he's a very versatile vocalist, so that's why I really enjoy Crystal Lake. I really enjoy those melodic style of choruses and the melodic style of screaming. It's almost kind of got that, it doesn't sound exactly like it, but it reminds me a lot of what Architects does in their style of melodic screaming. And I really enjoy that. Obviously, it's not the same. but I really enjoy that style of chorus. So far, really enjoy it. Production on the video is, of course, really, really good. It's always very well done when it comes to Crystal Lake. Everything is very high quality, and the music video is shot and produced very, very well. But yeah, so far I'm really, really enjoying this. So let's go ahead and continue watching.
Watch me burn. Well, now they set us on fire. We're in this together, right? Honor and death. Get down, and the war has got nothing to lose. Get down, I'll tell you to know I know how to prove. Get down. Now I'm crying down inside.
Yep, that was the end of it. So that was Crystal Lake and their song "Watch Me Burn." So let's go over, jump on over. I have the lyrics pulled up. I'm gonna read through the lyrics briefly, and we're gonna kind of talk about what we think about it, and maybe our subjective meaning behind those lyrics and our opinion of them. So let's go ahead and jump on over to that. All right, guys. So that was Crystal Lake and their song "Watch Me Burn." All right, so I have the lyrics here pulled up, and I'm just gonna kind of read through them pretty quickly. And I'm not going to do the repetitive choruses, obviously. We know what the chorus says. So it starts off with waiting for the sunrise, drowning in the shadow that I'll cast, standing at the front line. I'm my own worst enemy, and the war has just begun. The world has gone insane. This is my heaven and hell, and the place I grow old. Buried alive because it's where I belong. Where's my dignity obscured by fantasy? Diamonds and gold don't mean shit when we are dead. I sacrificed everything. I gave my soul to death. Now that goes into, now I'm crying out inside. Do I leave my name behind? Maybe one day you will feel my pain, and maybe one day you will see my way. You want to watch me burn? Well, English. Well, I can't.
Now they.
Yeah, I can't. Well, now they set us on fire. We're in this together, right? Honor and death. Get down. I'm the one who's got nothing to lose. Get down. Not done yet, and I know. Now I know what to prove. I can't read today.
And now I know what to prove. Get down.
Yep. And so that goes into the same kind of repetitive choruses for the rest of the song. Basic thoughts. What do you think, Katie?
So before we even did the lyrics, just from like the little tidbits, I had this like sense, I wondered when they actually wrote the song, because it had this feeling of COVID for me. Just like being isolated in the world. I think it's that first verse which says, this world has gone insane. I'm just like, maybe this was written out of this season of life. But as we continue to read it, I feel like it's like just that basic battle of life. I mean, we live in a really broken world. There's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of dysfunction, there's a lot of injustice, and a lot of things we can't control even when we try to, and it doesn't go right. So it's a really hard life sometimes, and sometimes I know we can feel just downtrodden and like weighty and suffocating and drowning. Like that's a very common human emotion. And I love how he says waiting for the sunrise, because I feel like that gives hope to a person, knowing that it may feel bad right now, but there's always hope that good things could come.
Unless you're a vampire.
And well, yeah, that's
Then
true.
sun doesn't work too well for them.
Aren't you at least sparkly or something?
No, we don't talk about those.
I thought you were sparkly.
Do I look sparkly to you?
A vampire.
I look like an off-duty cop.
You kind of look like you could be sparkly. Yeah. But yes, I like that part of there's hope in the song. It's not total desperation. It's a very relatable song with the struggles that we all go through. It's pretty universal. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate, you know, this idea that it's not over. What about you? What are your thoughts?
So I absolutely do not see COVID with this.
Well, I don't either, really, but
okay.
I felt it
well,
at the beginning.
You felt it. She feels COVID. I think it's because she's been locked in a house. She doesn't get out much, apparently. They lock her in the house, and they tell her if she goes out, she's going to burn to death from this pandemic. But so kind of what I took from it is, which I think you nailed on the head, of just the battle of life in general. I think it's more along the lines of, like you said, the battle of life, not COVID. So what I think it is, just kind of based on, in the very beginning, drowning in the shadow that I'll cast, standing at the front line, I'm my own worst enemy. So it's basically stating that, you know, your battle through life, you're basically battling yourself the whole time. You know, it's talking about the world is going insane. This is my heaven and hell in the place I grow old. So talking about, you know, regardless of where you're at right now, while you're alive, this could be your heaven and it could be your hell, depending on how you treat it, how you act, the things that you do, in the decisions that you make. And then it talks about buried alive because it's where I belong, and that's kind of what she had mentioned, you know, feeling suffocated. But to me, this isn't not the feeling of being suffocated, but more so they're talking about that the person or whomever it is referring to is talking about suffocating themselves, doing it to themselves. Because it says, where's my dignity? And I'm obscured by fantasy. And it says, diamonds and gold don't mean shit when we are dead. So I sacrificed everything and I gave my soul to death. So it was like, where's my dignity? And it's obscured by fantasy. Diamonds and gold don't mean shit when we're dead. So what I take from that is materialistic things, like the fancy things, the fancy cars, the fancy houses, you know, just anything that we think make us look good, you know, the bougie stuff, you know, the Gucci, the Prada, the, you know, I have the stupid Supreme shirts that looks like could be from Walmart that cost $1,000, you know. To me, it's that kind of stuff. It's like, well, look at me, I'm wearing a Supreme shirt, so that makes me another tier of a person, right? Like we have upper middle class, but I'm wearing a Supreme shirt now. Everyone knows I have money. And that's why people buy those things. And that's, to me, what I take from that is diamonds and gold don't mean shit when we're dead. It doesn't matter if you were the wealthiest person in the world or the poorest person in the world, because when we're dead, we're both buried in the ground and we're both going to decay with worms eating our flesh. You know, it's like we're going to end up in the same place when we're dead, depending on what you believe, maybe in the afterlife, whether that be heaven, hell, or nowhere, or whatever you believe. But physically we're going to be in the same spot when we die. So that's what I take from the diamonds and gold. It doesn't mean anything. Those materialistic things do not mean anything. Basically saying, I sacrificed everything. I gave my entire life to try to prove a point, to show everyone, look at me, kind of thing. Like, I'm wearing this awesome stuff, I drive this nice car, I have this huge house, you know, and I gave my soul to death. And they worried. So they basically, it's like kind of the saying of money doesn't buy happiness. Next is, now I'm crying out inside. Do I leave my name behind? Maybe one day you'll feel my pain, and maybe one day you'll see my way. This I'm not really sure, because this, like, I'm crying out inside is like the inside they're not happy. It doesn't matter everything that they try to do. It's kind of like the diamonds and gold. They meant nothing, and they know that means nothing. And now they're sitting towards the end of their life, that they've, instead of making it their heaven, have made it their hell, and they're miserable. you know. And then it's like, do I even want people to remember my name? I'm a miserable person. What did I really leave? What was my legacy? Do I even leave my name behind? So then it goes into, maybe one day you'll feel my pain, maybe one day you'll see my way. I'm not sure. I understand that maybe the one day you'll feel the pain of, you know, I did all of this for nothing, and maybe you'll see and you won't do the same thing that I did. But maybe the one day you'll see my way, I'm not entirely sure what he may mean by that. Do you have any ideas?
Yes. Well, in that aspect, I'm not quite sure. Let me see this. I really like what you said about, I believe it was in the beginning. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in the first chorus, it says, standing at the front line, whoa. Oh, you didn't say whoa. I'm my,
go, whoa.
whoa. I'm my own worst enemy, and the war has just begun. And I think that's really key that he says that at the beginning, that there's this internal battle inside of us all the time. And a lot of these things, whether it's like, I'm going after riches, I'm going after money, I'm going after fame, like that all happens inside of us when we determine and prioritize what's most important. So it's like this battle of like, oh, I want to be a good person, or I want to rise to the top. I want to be loving. I want to be with my family. You know, whatever the contrast is. Like, I want to have tons of money. Or I just want to be happy. Whatever it is, you know, it's what are you sacrificing? What are you prioritizing? So I think that really directs the rest of the song, because a lot of times, you know, we can live in pain because we're suffering in our heads. When he says, now I'm crying out inside, like there's so much going on in the inside of us, so many people in anxiety and depression, and you would never know it. So there's just a lot of that, I think, being conveyed by him. But again, it's like maybe he's even thinking this through of like, what kind of name am I leaving? What kind of legacy, as Trent said? Am I leaving a good name for my kids, a good name for my family? Am I a man of, or a woman of character, person of character? You know, what kind of person am I leaving to the world, and how have I impacted the world in a positive way? Let's go down to, was there anything new down here?
No, it's just kind of repetitive.
Oh, okay.
It just kind of goes to the same stuff again.
Gotcha.
You know, so the one last thing I just kind of wanted to mention is, you know, the second verse says, you want to watch me burn? Well, now they set us on fire. We're in this together, right? Honor and death. Get down. I'm the one who's got nothing to lose. Get down. Not done yet. And now I know what to prove. I'm almost wondering if this is almost like an internal dialogue of the, I could be wrong, obviously, because it doesn't reference another person. It doesn't reference another person in the song. So is this him kind of talking to himself? In one spec, it's like, okay, one side, you want to see us burn, or the other side, you know, we're in this together. Both sides of us, heaven, hell, the good side, the bad side, we're in it together. So, you know, is there honor and death here? You know, one says, I've got nothing left to do, and the other says, you know, I'm not done yet. I still have something to prove. So it's almost like he's talking to himself in the mirror, and his reflections talking back to him, saying these things. Obviously, again, we could be completely and utterly wrong about this, but again, this is just kind of our subjective opinion regarding what we are reading. You know, and the reason why I take it as him almost talking to like a reflection, and his reflection responding to himself or talking to himself, is that the second and the initial chorus, it says, I'm drowning in the shadow that I'll cast. Almost like he's really separating himself there as him and his shadow. And he's showing there's two different portions to it. But
shadow could be part of the legacy too, part of the name.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, guys, that's kind of our subjective opinion on the song. Now, again, we could be completely wrong, but it's always fun to kind of sit down and go through it and kind of talk about it, because I feel like a lot of reactors, they'll watch a music video, they'll do their backflip out of their chair, they'll punch their wall, they'll, you know, punt a baby, and then they end the song. They never really go deep into it, because people just want that kick in the balls humor, like, oh, that was funny, he did crazy things, and that's just not what I'm about. I like my reactions to be very genuine and not over the top. I like to break down the lyrics if I can to give my subjective opinion. I'm not always going to agree with people either. You may suggest something and I might end the song with saying, yeah, that sucked, I didn't like it. But again, that's my opinion. Doesn't mean that holds any weight on anything other than my own opinion. So I want that, to be very clear. My opinion should not affect how you feel about something. It just shouldn't. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like the videos, subscribe or think about it.
Thumbs up, right?
You can do a thumbs up as well. You can like the video as well. If you dislike the video, dislike it. Be constructive and tell me why you don't like it.
You can't see my thumb.
You couldn't, yeah, so I gotta get up here with it. Do that. Yeah, there you go. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Give suggestions below. If you want us to react to something else or want me to react to something else, and we'll check it out. So thank you guys so much.